former Chick House Hotel in downtown Rockford across from the BMO Center could soon be revitalized to the tune of $12 million.
WI5 News reporter Anthony Ferretti talks with Urban Equities, who bought part of the building on its plans for the historic location, and the final piece from Rockford City Council.
The building is currently owned by two separate parties. Urban Equities bought the privately owned half in December 2024. The other half is publicly owned by the city, and the proposal was read in during tonight's meeting, and City Council will vote on it on Monday.
Thousands of people a week have to see this thing. Right now it's in terrible condition.
This is one reason why Urban Equities Properties is behind a $12 million project to revitalize what they say is one of the earliest commercial places still standing in Rockford.
We're just really passionate about continuing the narrative and changing for the better downtown.
The Main and Elm Street structure was built in the 1850s. In 1888, Thomas Chick bought what was the Griggs House and renamed it the Chick House Hotel. It would become a popular place until 1928. Fern says the restoration will use historic tax credits and other development tools to bring in luxury apartments and ground floor retail and restaurant spaces.
It's exciting for not only for the 13th Ward, but the entire citizens in the city of Rockford.
Rockford City Council member Jeff Bailey expects he and his colleagues to approve this development agreement.
I wish we had some of those buildings that weren't torn down on West State Street, but those buildings have a lot of character. So it's good to see that how they're being preserved and how they're being redeveloped.
This is part of a bigger project for Urban Equities, who buys worn down properties and revitalizes them, not only for their tenants, but tourists too.
We just expect them to have a great experience and not have to walk by dilapidated buildings on their way to a show or on their way to a restaurant or on their way home. It's kind of a win-win-win for everyone.
The real estate company and the city will have a ribbon cutting tomorrow morning at 9:30 for the Starbucks at 213 West State Street.
Thank you, Anthony. And Fern says he hopes to go public with one of the companies in the former Chick House by summer 2025. They also plan to go public with other projects later in the year.